Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to read the supplemental text that follows the big trip. So make sure you read along in your textbook. And also make sure that you are repeating all of the words to know. This is an informational text. That means that this is a story that really happened. So they're giving us real information about two men, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, who lived a long time ago. And they also met a woman named Sacagawea, who you'll read about in just a second. All right, make sure you have your book. When you're ready, go ahead and read. Remember, you can pause anytime to repeat or go back or just listen to it again. Here we go.
Read together. Connect to social studies. Words to know. There,
There,
by,
by,
sure,
sure,
could,
could,
don't,
don't,
car,
car,
about,
about,
maybe.
maybe.
Genre. Informational text gives facts about a topic. This is a social studies text. Text focus. A map is a drawing of a place. Tell what the map symbols mean on page 88. Lewis.
Okay, so before we go on, there's going to be a map on the next page, and I want you to pay attention to it. That's going to help us understand the journey that these two men took. Here we go.
Lewis and Clark's Big Trip. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark were explorers who traveled across North America many years ago. They walked, rode horses, and traveled by boat. They wrote about their trip in journals. Lewis, Clark.
Okay, so these are real pictures. Now, a long time ago, they didn't really have cameras. So these are actually probably paintings of these two men. One of them, his first name was Meriwether and his last name was Lewis. And the other one, his first name was William and his last name was Clark. And before we had the United States in this land, there was just a lot of space. And so they were kind of like exploring to see what was on this big land. And they wrote about every day what they found in a journal, which is like a notebook. All right, let's continue on the top of page 71.
Lewis and Clark asked an American Indian named Sacagawea to go with them. The explorers were sure she could help them talk with other American Indians on the way. One day, they came to an American Indian village. Maybe Sacagawea could speak with the people there. She did, and they gave the explorers supplies and horses. Sacagawea helps Lewis and Clark.
Okay, so they met this woman, Sacagawea, and she was an American Indian. That means that she lived here long before anybody came from another country to the United States, before it was the United States. And because of her help, they were able, the men, Lewis and Clark, were able to get some supplies that they really needed because she knew how to talk to the other tribes of American Indians. All right, we're going to continue on the next page. So turn the page, and now we're on page 72. Put your finger on the top.
Sacagawea knew good paths across mountains and through forests. It took the explorers about 2 years to finish their trip. People travel the same route today. They don't travel by horse now, they travel by car. Lewis and Clark's route. Read.
Okay, so they took 2 years to make that trip. And they only had horses. That's why it took them so long. They were actually lucky to have horses because not many people did, and they would just walk. Now it wouldn't take that long to go across the country because we have cars and we have trains and we have planes. Back then, there wasn't any of that. Now, on this map,
together.
oops, stop. On this map, it shows us where they went. So they started here in St. Louis. There's a town called St. Louis, and the red line tells me here on the map key was the route that Lewis and Clark took. That means that everything here, they went all up this red line all the way until they got to the west coast of the United States, which is where the Pacific Ocean is. We live over here. So they started here and they went all the way that way. The blue line is the river. So as you can see, they followed almost exactly around the route of the river. And the black dots on the map are the cities. So this is what the city where they started, and there really aren't any other cities there on the map. Back then, there wasn't really a whole lot yet on this land that we later called the United States. All right, boys and girls, read it over as many times as you can. Make sure you know those words to know for our test for lesson 17. See you soon.